In this video, we'll examine graphs to determine intervals where a function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. There's a graph of a line on the screen that as we move from left to right is rising or going uphill. So we say that as x is increasing, that is, as we move to the right end of the graph, the y values are increasing because the graph is going in an upward direction. So as x gets larger, the y values are getting larger, which is graphically represented by a function that is going up from the left to the right. So we say that a function is increasing if the y values increase as the x values increase. This means that the graph is rising as we move from left to right. Mathematically, that a function is increasing on an interval from x1 to x2 if f of x2 is greater than f of x1 for each x value in the interval. Now on the screen we have a picture of a line that as we move from left to right is going down. So as we go to the right, that is as x is increasing, the graph is going down, which means that the y values are decreasing. So we say this is a decreasing function. A function is decreasing if the y values decrease as the x values increase. This means that the graph is falling or going down. As we move from left to right. So a function is decreasing on an interval from x1 to x2 if f of x2 is less than f of x1 for each x value in the interval. The last graph is an example of a horizontal line that goes through a y value of c. So notice that as x is increasing, that is, as we move to the right end of the graph remains flat. There's no rise or fall to the graph. So we say in that case that y is remaining constant. So a constant function is if the y values remain constant or unchanged as the x values increase. This means that the graph is horizontal as we move from left to right. A function is constant on an interval x1 to x2 if f of x1 is equal to f of x2 for each x value in the interval. That is, the y values are the same for those particular x values. So our goal with these problems is going to be to determine the intervals where a function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. The most important part of this is that we always answer with open intervals. That is, even if the endpoint is included in the graph, we always use parentheses with our intervals. And our answers will always be in terms of x. We're always looking for the intervals of x for which the function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. Because knowing if the function is increasing, decreasing, or constant tells us how the y values are behaving within that interval of x. So what I would suggest you do when you see a graph, like this one, we have a parabola that has a vertex or high point at negative 2, 1. So that is, it's going up to the point negative 2, 1, and then the graph goes down. So the graph is rising to this point negative 2, 1, and then it is falling. So run your finger along the graph If you're going up from left to right, then that's where the function is increasing. If it's going down, that's where the function is decreasing. And if there's no change, that's where the function is constant. So we have to think about, well, where did that change occur? The change between rising and falling occurred at this point, -2, 1. So our function is increasing on the interval to the left of the -2, 1. So we say that is from negative infinity to the x value of -2 with the parentheses. Then the function is decreasing to the right of -2, 1. So that is -2 to infinity with open parentheses. Another example, we have this graph of 3 different segments. There's a part of a line that is falling, then we are horizontal, and then the graph is going up. So the leftmost piece is going down, so this is falling. And where is it falling to what point? It's falling to this point, -1, -2. And then from -1, -2, it is horizontal or constant until we get to the point 3, -2. And then beyond the 3, -2, it is rising. So where is this graph increasing, decreasing, and constant? It is increasing from this point 3, -2, and on to the right. So we write that as the interval 3 to infinity. Remember, we're only looking for the x values within that interval. Where is the graph decreasing? Well, from left to right, it's decreasing from negative infinity to this point -1, -2, which has the x value -1. So from negative infinity to -1. And then the graph is constant between -1, -2 and 3, -2, which is in the interval -1 to 3. And again, if you need to, like draw a vertical line through the different parts of the graph and remind yourself that you're only reading the x values on those particular intervals. So let me know if you have any questions with this concept. Thank you.